My friends, I'm back on the road. I'm flying solo. I drove up from Atlanta yesterday to Virginia. They call it the I haven't had service in the past 24 hours, so I can't look up fun facts and figures about Virginia state. I was doing a little Googling for campsites yesterday, and I found this website called HipCamp. Never heard of it before. It's basically a total ripoff of Airbnb, but for campsites. So if you have a little plot of land in your backyard, you could have somebody come camp on it. So I actually found a neat little rustic hillbilly out here in the hinterland boondocks campsite, and it was decent. Very secluded and private. Weird smells and hillbillies next door shooting guns. So loud every time they'd shoot. It's like, because it wasn't just like bang, bang, bang. It's just randomly all of a sudden like, shooting squirrels in the backyard with a 50 caliber sniper rifle. But I went for the spot because it's close by, Carvin's Cove outside of Roanoke, Virginia. I've heard really good things about this trail system. I just did my own self-guiding Trail Forks due diligence. I found an enduro course. That's usually the best way to go. If you're gonna come show up to a place, if they've run enduros out at this trail system, I'm just gonna follow along the enduro course, do a bunch of big climbs, hopefully do a bunch of big cool descents, and have a blast. They've got a nice little changing room, a decent bathroom, better than the one at the campsite, I'll tell you that much. At least it falls a lot further, if you know what I mean. They've got a fee station, so if you're coming out here, it's $3 to park. Right now, because of COVID, there is no fees, which sucks. I'd rather give them some money and like help keep this thing going, but it is what it is, so we're gonna go without a fee. I am enjoying being back in the van and organizing everything, cleaning everything up, getting everything in its right spot, and kind of getting everything self-contained. That is the coolest, absolute best thing about the van. You roll up to a trailhead, you have everything. You haven't forgot anything, it's impossible. You roll up to the campsite, you've got it all. As long as you double check when you leave, you're good to go. I made a stop at Costco somewhere in North Carolina to stock up on all the necessities of van life, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable now. My phone is acting very weird right now. I got like a little message that said, Apple cannot verify the quality of your battery. And it's like weirdly overheating. Everything's on the phone, everything. Navigating out of here, navigating through here. I have Trail Forks set up. So, man, just so dependent on the phone, everything. I don't, how do I even get out of here? I don't know. I'll just start going that way if I was having to drive back. So I wrote down all the trails at least so I could get through today. Climb Heidi Ho, go down the gauntlet, So this should be my little route for today in case the Trail Forks dies, because it does look like they did really good signage and everything's named and well done out here, which is fantastic. Yeah. I just ran into a very nice local couple. They were surprised to see me out here. That's the best thing, man. I absolutely always get a kick out of it. Almost everywhere I go, all over the world, there's somebody's like, wait, is that BKXC? It's amazing that the platform YouTube allows you to have, and people can find the stuff. And I think they were so stoked, like, oh my God, you're gonna ride all this stuff. See how it goes. The only downside about meeting everybody is names. I do pretty good with the names, but not that great. So I think Mike was just telling me that he's been mountain biking out here since 1990-ish, the 90s. And it used to just be a small little parking lot with 3 cars, very anti-bike sentiment. And now it's a mountain biker's paradise. There's a bike shop down the road called Just the Right Gear. How cool is that? That might be my favorite bike shop name of all time. Oh yeah, this is mountain biker terrain right here. We got rocks, we got roots. Okay, the phone's still working for now. There was an unsigned split back there, and it looks like I sticked on the wrong. No, I stuck to the right side. Oh, I'm already losing it. I'm already flubbering. Pain and pleasure. I'm trying not to walk the bike. It is legit. Okay. Couldn't do it. I had to take the bike for a walk. I did a fair amount of tossing and turning last night in the van.
And but man, all of a sudden I woke up and it was 8 a.m., which is awesome. Usually the sun starts beating down on the van and the light starts coming in, but I was parked under a tree, so it gave me just enough time to really actually get the sleep I needed. I've been humbled. Oh man, we're still going. This is great. I'm looking forward to the down, but whew, well, a lot of time to think on the uphill. That is a good thing. Oh, that was about the longest and hardest 1.5 miles. Oh my, oh my. Sweat, 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 sweat. It is time to run the gauntlet. Signage says double black. Trail Forks says single black. I think it should always go with the signage on the trail instead of people doing what they think the trail is rated. Feels very marbly. So far, so good though. Yeah! Ooh, yeah. Just feathering the brakes. Just a little. Woo! I think the problem we kind of worked ourselves into in America is that it's like, what's above double black diamond? And in the UK and Europe, they have a red triangle. So it's like green, blue, red triangle, and then black diamond is actually the toughest thing. But here it's like we got black, double black, pro line, but it does give you a good idea of what's gonna happen though. Woo. Whoa. Ha. Cool. I'm sure the camera makes it look nice and flat, but those roots were dangerous. Oh yeah. Wow. Oh. Howdy.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good.
Hey man, what's up?
Doing good. Well, that was an amazing first trail. Really quite unbelievable. All right. Let's check the old printout here. I need to go right on horse pen, and I need to climb the trough. That type of trail just has a different feel to it because it's flow, but it's chunky. It's in its own little weird hybrid category. It's the kind of trail where your fast buddy goes really fast, and you're like, how could I be that much slower? I'm doing everything I possibly can. The secret is out. So a couple episodes ago, I went on a rant about how all mountain bike clubs need to be on Trail Forks, and they need to have a position of cartographer that keeps everything updated and dialed in on Trail Forks so people can actually arrive to their town and spend money in their town and ride the trails. The other thing I think all mountain bike clubs need to be on is Patreon. What a perfect, easy way to get membership money from people just monthly. Boom, boom, boom. And then it's up to you guys to figure out what are the reward tiers. What are you getting in exchange for pledging on Patreon? I think one of the coolest ways is like if you have a gold level tier or something like that and you build a new feature, you put people's names, like if it's a wall ride, you put people's names on the rungs of the wood. You burn them in, or like, you know, if they want to say something or have a message, or bricks. There's a million creative ways to do it. Fundraising has been around since the beginning of time, and man, it just makes for better trails and better community if you guys can like rally around. I would have no problem doing $10 a month to my mountain bike club, set it and forget it on Patreon, and then you make sure all the communications and stuff just go through Patreon, And you can even set your posts to be public. So people are on the Patreon page when they're reading about your stuff. So they're already kind of in the ecosystem. They're just reading the free posts. And then they see, oh, there's a locked post, or oh, I could support. Like there's always a messaging that like, oh man, people are supporting at 25 bucks a month, or oh man, there's 1,500 patrons of this mountain bike club. Holy moly. There's definitely ways to do it so you can actually get things going and just really be self-sustaining. I know you can do it. Somebody reach out to me if your mountain bike club is actually on Patreon. I would love to see that. And don't just make a Patreon like every other YouTube mountain biker that just makes a Patreon and doesn't even do anything with it and just does it because they think it's something you're supposed to do. Like just really, really just dive into it. Make that the lifeblood. Man, I really want to grow a big tall tree, but I'm not gonna water it or give it sunlight or any kind of fertilizer. Sometimes trees do grow really big and strong and tall in the most crazy adverse conditions, but give your tree a chance. Up the trough, here we go. And yes, there are some mountain bike YouTubers that have excellent Patreons for sure, that are offering very cool stuff in exchange for a couple bucks a month. One great example of that is my Patreon for $3 a month. You get early videos, extended cuts, a podcast once a month, interact in the comments. Oh my goodness. Real mountains, real mountain biking. Oh, no blue square BS out here. I know there's more blue square riding to come, but man, I'm gonna just do my best at every turn to find the hardest stuff I can. That's not, you know, crazy backflip stuff that I can't pull off. Oh yeah, I got a fan for the van. A little inside the van fan, not like a vent fan. And it worked really good last night. Just need that air blowing on you. Man, if I was gonna do it all over again, the one vent fan in the van is just like pointless. You have to have your windows rolled down. You have to have a big hole of air coming in for you to actually get that movement. So if you have two fans on top, like Eric from BCPOV, then actual movement comes. Or if you drill a big hole in the bottom of the van, which could also double as a urinal, you could have a lot of air coming in. Okay, I actually have a little bit of signal up here at the top. So I looked up the state nickname for Virginia. It's called Old Dominion. I've never heard that before. I know people call it the Commonwealth of Virginia, but that's kind of different. Apparently during the English Civil War, which I've never heard of before, Virginia was very loyal to whoever ended up winning. So the king called it Old Dominion. I guess that's a mark of loyalty or something. I'm confused. Rolling into royalty. And there's a split already. All right. It's like a big old drop thing. The lip on that thing. Deep. Supposedly this was a bootleg trail that got grandfathered into the system. Oh no, I don't think I'm the first person to do that. Whoa. Oh. Whoa. I spoke too soon. Surprised how I'm able to not slip out and actually get some grip on this. Ah, that would have been good. Dang it. All right. Woo. Whoa. Oh yeah. Oh man. It is a shame that I'm not gonna have time to ride the other trails in this area, or even other trails in Virginia for that matter, because I think this is possibly a very sneaky spot to have multiple rides from one home base. Looking at Trail Force, it just looks like there's all kinds of stuff. Ooh, the secret's out. Oh. Oh yeah. Cool. Fully soaked, full soakage, up trough. Time to go down buck and then look for hotel on the right. Looking pretty good to me. This place rules. I think it gets really, really busy on the weekends though. Buck. Surprising sometimes what the bike can do if you let it. Woo! Oh man, get a couple runs down this and memorize it. Oh man. Okay, a little trail split there. Oh no, okay, comes hotel, right turn. That section, that top section of Buck, that was amazing. That might have been my favorite part so far today, because it was just so, the speed and the intensity. You lose a little something when the trail's super wide and you can see everything. When you're going fast and the trail is narrow, it's the jubilees get a little bigger tingle. Woo! Oh! Off the side of the hill, kind of turned. They must have an awesome community to get all this stuff made and maintain it so well. Hats off. Now that's what I call a good day on the bike. I could definitely see going down Trough, going down Heidi Ho, and then it's a whole different thing. It's all these other trails I didn't even do, and I think there are a few more out there on the map that would be worth exploring. So I think you could do 2 days out here. I've got the post-ride sandwich dialed up. I just got to meet a bunch of cool people from the community that recognized me, and I got to say hi and talk about their trails and how much I think they're doing a great job, and they're so helpful, and it's just a shame. I think I'll have to come back here next year. It's just too good. It'd be so fun to get to actually see a bunch of different days of riding out here in Roanoke. They don't want the secret out though, so it's kind of a catch-22 there. I've got the clothesline hanging up. Everything is just so wet. If I can dry stuff for enough, if I can get enough sun down on those clothes, then I can starch these things up. It doesn't matter too much that they're dirty. It's way more important that they get dried out. I would say so far with the van, my biggest bumble / regret / thing that maybe I didn't need, but maybe I will need, is the road shower. I filled this thing up back home in January when I set out on the road, and I carried that water in the tank for months. Then I ended up just dumping out the tank because it's like, this water's been in here forever. I always had a spot to actually go take a shower. I never was in a very desperate situation where I felt so dirty. Now today would have been a perfect time to try out the road shower and see what happens, but I broke Sarah's hose at her place in Atlanta, so it wouldn't really fill up. And then the next day, there was a boil water advisory next, like a water main broke next to her house. So I was like, oh God, I don't want to fill up this janky water in the thing and it's gonna sit up there forever. So instead, what I use today are these little scrub things. They're like basically, I guess it would be like a sponge bath, totally made for like an old folks home or taking care of your grandma kind of thing. You get it wet, you get it soapy, and then you wash yourself down. It kind of has a weird, sterile medical smell to it, but I don't smell it on me now. It was a pretty good solution. I think that was a really good thing. I mean, you're already sweating. It's so humid. No matter what, you take a shower, you feel clean, then you start sweating again in this situation. But I give a thumbs up to these scrubs things. This has been pretty good. You get 25 of these in a package. They're very lightweight. They pack down into the garbage like a paper towel. It doesn't feel like you're wasting this big old thing. And then if you were actually really dirty, you'd want to probably wipe yourself off first, because just like using baby wipes and stuff to clean yourself, you need that first rinse is very useful. That's where the shower would come in handy. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful about these things. It is time to get to editing. It's time to get to work, get this going, get my clothes dried out. They are still soaking wet. I'm in a Walmart parking lot right now, so I don't feel like putting the clothesline outside. I think that would be too on point. So I'm gonna keep moving, keep making videos for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the trail.